going to be talking about the most amazing show I've seen in a while. It is called 1899. It's on Netflix right now. The whole series, the first season's out. You can go watch it. You can binge it because that's what we did. It's quite a show. It's quite a ride. I loved it. It wasn't perfect. There was some problems, which we'll get into, but we had to talk about it. This is a really special show, and I'm here for it with some amazing panelists. We've got Scott from Sporking News Podcast. What's going on, Scott?
Not much. Yeah, I'm excited to talk about this too. It was definitely one of those shows that kind of was a ride. I liked it. I was like, and then I loved it. So yeah.
There you go. I'm kind of the same way, but we'll get into that. But excellent. And then Teresa Martin is here. Ms. Martin Muses, what's going on?
Well, not much. I'm excited to be talking about this show. It was definitely something else. I'll say that.
It really was. Teresa, have you seen Dark?
No, I haven't.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were the same people. I didn't realize that until after the fact. And the first season of Dark is amazing. So I think it's 3 seasons. It was great.
And then we got Jane Theory.
Hello.
The lady with all the theories. What's going on, Jane?
Going good.
Hi.
Happy to be here.
And real quick, just a backstory for me and my channel. Dark was actually the very first video that I came out with. It was my very, very first video on the channel was my Dark season 1 and 2 review, because season 3 hadn't dropped yet. So I was excited for it, and I wanted to talk about it because I was going crazy about that series in John Talks' channel. And Jane was like, "Oh my God, I seen that show too." And then Jane and I did a review of it on his channel. That was so long ago.
It feels like forever.
I know. It feels so
good times though. I had so many notes.
I know. It was so great. And then I ruined the 3rd season for you guys. It was great.
That's awesome. That's awesome. But one of your guys, MJ UK84, said something like Dark was awesome. Dark had boobs, because we were just talking about that. Like, Dark had boobs. Like, I wish this show had maybe butt boobs.
That was one of the things that was missing in this show was boobies.
Yep. Something.
We needed something. But we'll get into it. So first, we're gonna do a little bit of a spoiler-free review for those of you who haven't seen the series yet. And then we'll get into the spoilers. So, spoiler-free wise, why don't we start off with Jane? Jane, spoiler-free, what did you think of the series?
I thought it was fantastic. It was a roller coaster. It was a lot of questions that I had throughout, literally until the end. And I still have questions. I love a show that allows you to sort of go along with the ride that the characters are on, and that's what it felt like. It was just a lot of fun.
Excellent. That's great. Yeah, that's kind of very much in line with my own thinking. Teresa, what did you think?
Mixed feelings about it. I thought that it started strong. It lost me for a while and caught me at the very end. Okay, there you go. Scott, what about you?
I think I agree. I think it was, I felt almost Lost vibes there in the middle, like, oh God, where is it going? But I was enjoying like seeing different people's stories. It wasn't just about the main female character. It was about everybody's story and how sin, I thought, and then you get surprised at the end and it was like, blew me away. Like, I was like really impressed. And I usually hate shows that use modern music in old shows.
I did too. Yeah, me too.
But I dug it. It was always at the very end, and it was always a really cool song.
But it was also clues, because you were like, absolutely. Ooh, the music was clues. There were breadcrumbs that they were sprinkling out. This is why I don't think it's very much like Lost, actually, because I've heard this a lot. Because I made a thread about it on Twitter. And there was a bunch of comments like, this feels like Lost. This feels like Lost. And here's the thing. It doesn't feel like Lost to me because simply because I felt like they had a plan. They knew what they want to do. They knew where they want to take the story. It wasn't like J.J. Abrams was like, okay, we're going to make something and then.
Right. I mean, but
whatever
in
works.
Season 1, what I mean by Lost is like in Season 1, you didn't really understand what was going on. You didn't know everybody's motivation, but you have a valid point because by the end of this, you're like, oh, like that's it. Like in Lost, it took 10 seasons or whatever it was, and you're like, oh, like you know.
And I think something like this, you have to have an ending, so to speak, because you have so many different threads going in so many different directions with your twists and turns and layers upon layers. It's almost like Inception.
Yeah, it was.
If you're not, like, I could imagine them having not just a storyboard, but like towers of information, like physical layers, and cubes and things, and inside out. There's so much to it. There's no way you could have gotten this done without having planned every single step.
Exactly. And that's how I felt about it too. Now, I'm just, for the spoiler-free portion of it, I'm gonna also lay this out because I've heard a bunch of people talk about how there's woke in it. Okay, here's the thing. This is a Netflix show. So obviously there's gonna be woke elements. And I thought that they did some woke elements. There was definitely things that could be perceived as woke.
Yeah, I didn't take it as woke.
I didn't think the story was woke. I didn't
get it.
Just because there's gay people in it or women are like not like 1899, women don't have the rights that the men have. Like that's just part of that world. They didn't. Yes, it got pushed a little bit, but woke is, I think we're just using that term way too loosely.
Yeah. Agreed.
You know, it had reason behind it and it made you realize, okay, it's part of the story and you kind of needed it to show like how she was held back and you know, the arrogant doctor and all that stuff. I thought it was
the
worth it.
Message though, I don't think was a predominant theme of the thing. The story was the theme and the story is what they focused on. And that's why I wouldn't consider this a woke show, but I do consider it having woke elements in a sense that, for example, you know, the gay couple had a very long drawn out sex scene. But there was no, like, when the straight couple was doing it, it was like 30 seconds. There was no nudity. I was, especially for females, which I was expecting because there was basically kind of like a geisha / like sex worker. And there was this one scene where like her madam is telling her to take off her clothes. And I was totally expecting there to be a boob shot. And then there wasn't. And it was all just like, oh, we're going to cover this and that. But with the gay scene, it was very explicit. So I was like, I'm not explicit enough to show D or anything, but still.
No, but
I didn't really see that as woke, honestly. I saw that as, I mean, they were completely different stories. So the situations in which things were happening made sense to the scene, to me. Even we'll get to it. But like the scenes with the women in them, I felt like it made sense for them not to like show nudity or anything like that.
I disagree.
I think it would have
no, I don't agree with that. They should have showed nudity, Jane.
Like the geisha part to show how like what a bad mistake that her decision was. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I thought it would have
her
been
vulnerability, it would have brought it out. There's a lot of Asian girls that would have shown tit.
Yeah,
like
or at least
it's fine.
One cheek. I don't know.
Something.
But you're so used to seeing that.
I see more man ass in the last couple of years in movies than girl butt, okay? And I'm saying, you know what? No more man ass, or at least equal to girl butt, please.
We need equal rights.
Balancing it out.
God damn it. You flick too hard. Shut up. I want to see girl butt. Sorry.
Oh my God. I don't I have that clip somewhere.
Flick too hard, damn it!
Absolutely.
It's true though. It's true. Now, okay. What does everybody give it out of 10 then? Season 1 out of 10. Scott, what do you give it?
I'm gonna give it. Wow, that's tough. I would say an 8. Like it was actually like a little lower, and then the last episode really like, oh shit, you know, like so. I will give it a solid 8, and that's a high one for me. So
Okay.
eight's good.
All right, eight. Jane,
Yeah.
what do you give it?
Oh, 9.5 out of 10.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Almost perfect.
Wow. That's awesome.
Ms. Martin Muses, what do you give it?
Y'all gonna hate me. I gave it a 7 out of a 10.
Wow.
It did not keep me engaged. It went on way too long with the story on the ship. I'll put it that way, since this is non-spoiler.
Mhm.
I was very quickly figuring out, I'm not so sure that this is going to mean a darn thing, so let's just get over it. We could have cut out some of those episodes and moved forward. I felt it was a bit, I don't know if indulgent is the right word or just too much, but it was not entertaining for me for a good portion of it.
So
Okay.
could I just say something on that?
Sure.
Because I understand what you're saying. If we weren't reviewing this, I don't know if I would have got past a couple of the episodes. But because I was like, oh, we're going to be reviewing this, I pushed through, and those indulgences, which I almost thought the same thing. Like, I don't need to know everybody's like complete story. Like, just, but then like when that last episode, you're like, oh my God, I might want to know all these people. Like, what is this? I could do it more in the spoiler section, but
yeah.
I think it meant more than what indulgence. I think it's going to be more important in the next season.
That's why I was like, I'm going to watch it again. Because
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to watch it again because that was really freaking good. I thought, I mean, it's really difficult for me to give it like a 10 out of 10 and even like 9.5. I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I want to give it a 9.5. Just depending on like where this heading, I don't know. But for a first season, I'm going to give it a really high rating too. I think I'm with you, Jay, 9.5. Because 9 or 9.5, like whatever you want to say, but either way, there was definitely some slow parts. I agree with you, Teresa. There was some parts where I didn't expect certain things, and I was like, oh, I'm not feeling this kind of like woke-ish stuff. There was one part that seemed very woke, and then later on, when you get to the final episode, which I'm not spoiling right now, but when you get to that final episode, you kind of realize they're like, oh, that's why. And I'll tell you what that is in a minute. But, because of all that and because of the ending, I loved the ending. I was like, this is exactly what I thought it was going to be. So I'm giving a high rating. Definitely a must watch. And also, when without giving the ending away, having watched the series and to the end, like the season, I think that even if they don't get a season 2, I would be fine with this as a standalone series. I would be fine with it because I feel like they ended it in a way that, yes, you could definitely go into so much more shit. There's a lot to go into.
Completely different series too.
Yeah,
But
completely different.
yeah, you could go in so many different directions now.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if we don't get one, I'm fine having watched this one show and it being it. Like, that's fine. It was
Because you know why?
great.
Because that last episode, if it was only one season, that last episode, we can have debates on where it would have went.
Exactly.
For
And
a
that
very
is
long
why
time.
I'm fine with that. Like, because I'm kind of fine with a very open-ended ending where you can make your own stuff and theorize about what would have happened or how would you have done it and so on
I'll
and
be
so
so pissed
forth.
if there's not a season 2, though.
I know, but that's the thing. So here's the thing, though. There isn't going to be a season 2. They haven't signed on for a season 2. They want a season 2, but the creators have said that it depends on ratings, the talk of the town, what people are saying, all that stuff. Netflix is waiting to renew them to see what the reception is like. But so far, this is the headline that I saw going into this stream.
And overtaking the crown?
That's a big thing.
That's a big time.
Oh, wow.
That's big.
And I love how this new Netflix period drama. Like, oh man, it's such a good show. Like now I'm okay, 8.5. 8.5.
That's rating just went up.
Well, it'll definitely get a second season, but I don't want one. I don't want those questions answered. From what you're all saying is like, not only could you end it, I think it shouldn't be.
I see what you mean too.
But very much like Terminator. Terminator should not have had a sequel, even though I like T2.
No, you're right.
The way it ended, where we just imagined what was going to play out, was creepier than what it really was.
I feel that. That's why I'm saying I would be fine with this as a first season or like a standalone season. Like I would be okay with it because I thought that they ended it very well.
Yeah.
But having said that, the reception seems to be really good. So we'll see. I think we are going to get a season 2. I'd still be excited for season 2 too. Like I mean, season 2 was great. So
after seeing Dark, I want that second season.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm like, yeah, let's
like,
go.
They're
feel
talented.
Like this isn't going to be just answering certain questions. This is going to be a whole new tale.
Oh God.
With probably additional layers that we don't even know about. Like this, I can't.
I have a
wait.
question when we get spoilers.
I'm so excited to be excited about something. Like that's one of the things that I really, really like the show. Like tonight, I was like thinking to myself, hey, should we go live and do this? Because I feel like a lot of people probably haven't seen it. And, you know, I don't know, but maybe there's like still watching it or whatever. But then I'm like, hell yeah, I want to talk about this show. I want to hear you guys' thoughts. I want to know what is going on in everybody's theories, what they thought, what they didn't think. Yeah, and we want to push it.
I did it with Severance. Like I love Severance. Everywhere I go, I tell people to watch it.
Watch it. Yes.
Got him.
Severance is another good one, people, and we've reviewed it on this channel, so make sure you check that out. And also, that's one of the other reasons that I wanted to do this review tonight is because one of my goals for this Sunday show, and one of my goals in general for this channel, has been to show you what else is out there other than fucking Marvel. And
I'm so sick of bitching.
Yes, I'm sick of bitching, Scott. I'm sick of bitching about everything. I mean, we just kind of bitched for months or like weeks over, you know, Rings of Power. And those shows, mind you, are fun to like, you know, it's fun to shit on things.
It is, but I'd rather like introduce something to people. Like this, really, I was not going to watch this until you guys said, oh, we're going to review it. I'm like, okay, I don't even know what it's about. I didn't have a clue that the people from Dark did it, because if I knew that, I would have already watched it. And I
told you it was from the people by Dark.
I don't read everything. I just saw 1899. I was like, okay, put the kid down and start
Men
watching
don't
something.
pay attention.
Not at all. No.
That's what happens.
But thank you.
Scott, everybody, we're going to go into the spoiler territory now. Everybody in the chat. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being here. Please make sure you smash the like, share the stream, tell everybody we're talking about the show. And yes, you got to give time to watch it though. I understand, but we watched it and we're excited. So we want to talk about it. Maybe we'll have another show, another live stream where we can talk about it with everybody else as they watch it. But
right, because we still got Script and George and all them trying to finish it.
We can do another one. We can do another one. They're still going to be around too. I know Script Doctor told me he thought it was pretentious. And I was like, oh.
He's Canadian.
Yeah, well, I agreed with him. Yeah.
Yeah.